What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, even though it's still early, things are starting to open up on both ends of the floor. And in this segment right here, we'll take a look at a few different concepts, and things got quite interesting with Jalen Brunson, with the shot not falling, how this offense kind of maneuvered around it, and also the perimeter defense picking up. The chemistry between Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, we're starting to see that all come together. And I'm not going to lie, it's looking quite sexy because in back-to-back games, the Knicks were able to shut down two of the league's top perimeter scorers, that being in Trae Young and Damian Lillard. I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
Last night I was reading Rudy the story of Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Pot. You know what happened? Stuck his nose in the pot once too often. He got stuck. Alcohol, right?
So as the season continues to progress and we begin to peel back the layers with this offensive unit and see what adjustments they make going from game to game. Right here, Jalen Brunson is plagued with his shot still not falling. Very similar to what happened in Atlanta and also in Houston going down the stretch, which led to the Knicks offense kind of being stagnant, watching guys in isolation, and just really having questionable shot selection. But Brunson was able to carve this defense all night and get penetration, and it only began to open up this Knicks offense. So Knicks giving Jalen Brunson some options. Stagger screen is set. Josh Hart sets one, and Towns sets one. And you got Dame in the middle of all that, a guy who's not really too detailed on the defensive end. So if one of these guys end up rolling, it wouldn't be surprising if he's open. But Brunson looks like he rejects it. He has OG real quick as an option. But you see the Knicks offense kind of coming together as Brunson finds Towns trailing. Now Brunson comes off this pick, and if you read the room, there's no Brook Lopez anywhere to be found. He's getting cooked by Towns at this point, and Giannis is the big man on the floor, but he's way up here. So when the defense collapses in to help out, Taurean Prince is the low man right here. Brunson's going to have options. Look at this fake shot. Right into a pass to McBride. Tell you, man, Deuce is going to come through definitely this year for sure. Brunson getting penetration on this weak Bucks perimeter defense. It just makes things free flowing. You see the ball moving. Guys are dishing and swishing, like Clyde always says. And with Brunson getting dribble penetration, it only showed a small sample size of the possibilities of what this offense could really be. And we started seeing little sprinkles of it throughout the game. And right here is a perfect example. Look at the action between JB and Towns. Check out Dame. Towns is going to exploit Dame, not paying attention to Brunson, not sticking on his man. It's an easy bucket. It's something about superstars that have been on teams where they carried the offensive load and they didn't really have any expectations. Some of these guys, sometimes they've been given the green light to just chill out on defense too much, that when they get on teams that are trying to compete for championships, there seems to always be a bridge or a major hurdle to get over to have certain things translate on both ends of the floor. Carmelo Anthony unfortunately suffered from the same thing. Again, it was something about that night with the Knicks not necessarily getting stuck in isolation, going one-on-one with players, just getting dribble penetration. The trickle-down effect is that the ball started just flowing. As you're going to see right here, look at all the passing. Multiple passes out of open shots. Now, even though that wasn't converted right there, you see the free-flowing offense, and we got small sample sizes of this throughout the season. It just hasn't as been consistent, as the Knicks are one of the leading teams to have players take shots in isolation. But a lot of Brunson's penetration this night against the Bucks and their weak perimeter defense, it had trickle-down effects. And the ball moving among different players, guys trying to find each other open, was one of the positive effects. Again, it's something about the ball moving, as guys are more prone to move off ball and try to make things happen. Let's look at that one more time. Mikal Bridges looking comfortable in this offense. It didn't happen right there, but you see the idea. Guys are moving. Things are free flowing. Guys are making certain reads. The chemistry is starting to click. Again, we've seen the Knicks have ideal offense sprinkled in some of the earlier games of the season thus far. Brunson right here goes through a flare screen. into a dribble handoff from Towns, but it's a fake dribble handoff. Towns attacks. And look at Bridges, the off-ball movement right here. And Bridges is able to knock down that three. Now that right there is an ideal offensive possession. A lot of that ball movement comes from Brunson dribble penetration as the Cavs defense right here, it fully collapses. And we're going to see great ball movement right here. Bridges is not able to knock down this shot. Here's another possession. Brunson coming off the screen, gets dribble penetration. Towns on the pop out. Towns could have shot it, but he passes it up again. Got guys scrambling, and Bridges is able to knock it down. Again, we're slowly peeling back the layers and seeing some of this offense kind of come together, as this time around is led by Josh Hart's dribble penetration. And again, this season, I'm seeing why he is very important to this starting unit. Just creates a lot of easy offense. But right here, you're going to see a lot of ball movement. Knicks now have enough players who could attack closeouts, make quick decisions. And with everything being free flowing, guys are making things happen. Josh Hart right here, once again, starting up the engines of that Knicks offense, attacking the closeout. Guys passing up multiple shots, and we're able to leave with something. Let's go. Again, we're just giving you a small sample size. We can't give you all of it. Look at this ball movement right here, boy. Ooh-wee. Can't give you everything. Just a sample. A lot of this free-flowing offense really came into fruition in this game. Just look at the passing. The cat is definitely out the bag with this one. And as the months tread along and the chemistry gets a lot better, the Knicks should be looking past teams like this. The Milwaukee Bucks and that weak perimeter defense. We're just going to straight be exposing these kind of teams. And the beautiful thing is that the Knicks can make this all happen without Brunson having to get into his bag. So now we're going to see the progression with the defense. And this season with Karl-Anthony Towns in the paint, the Knicks are one of the worst rim protecting teams. But slowly the perimeter defense is the first thing that's starting to show. And it played out perfectly in almost back-to-back games against the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks, with their leading perimeter scorers in Trae Young and Damian Lillard. For starters, Trae Young scored 23 points on 21 shots, and Damian Lillard was able to get 19 points on 15 shots. So the combination of OG, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges is causing havoc. So right here, really early on, we're going to see the Hawks try to generate a switch. They're trying to get Mikal off of Trae Young. But check out OG right here. OG's right here. Check him out on the switch. And now teams today, they're going to have to deal with a different perimeter look from the Knicks, as Trae Young ducks the smoke and the Knicks get the turnover. Here's another look right here as Mikal is on Trae Young, but instantly off this pick, Josh Hart is going to pick him up. And great communication, or just these two guys right here, Towns and Bridges, keeping the details to the hip, because they properly stick with their man as the Hawks are trying to create a little confusion inside. But teams this season, they're going to get different looks from the Knicks. Look, if a switch happens again, we got OG out here and Mikal. So this is definitely going to present a new look for these perimeter guards. I think that they can come up into MSG and have a career night. So things are not going to come easy for Mr. Ice Tray coming off this pick. Nowadays, he's going to have Mikal right on his heels with those long arms. OG right here kind of stunting in as Towns is in drop back coverage. You see that reach? Gives Towns a little bit of breathing room as he's dropping back. Trae can't necessarily come over here and just pull up. And also Mikal is right behind him, right on his heels on that recovery. Buys him enough time and pretty much nowhere to go. So to have Mikal Bridges defending the initial point of attack, these guards are not going to get away with the slick points that they used to. Just off rip, him being in that position alone already presents a problem, because it's not like he has to carry the load on the Knicks offense. So his energies could be used in different ways, and the perimeter guards of other teams are going to have him as an issue to deal with. So now Dame Dollar is dealing with Mikal and OG. They instantly switch, and Dame is not going to be able to get an easy shot off on OG. No more easy buckets. Again, Mikal on Dame. And right here, they're trying to get the switch. I don't know what's the advantage because OG is right here. They should have had AJ Green come through, try to initiate this switch right here. Or even Taurean Prince to bring Brunson in that action. Then there's an advantage with the switch. But right here, there's actually none. Dame dealing with all that size and length, trying to find Giannis rolling. It's kind of a sloppy pass. Let's look at that again. Yeah, deflected off of OG. Once again, the size and length that's coming at Dame. This is brand new. Dealing with this Knicks team. Definitely looking different than the way things were in the in-season tournament last year. Those style points are not going to be coming quite as easy. The Knicks this season, having a number of perimeter defenders, are going to punish teams for these early actions. Quick screen, but there's no real advantage because OG's right here. He's stuck on Johnson as he's making his way to get into position. So there's no real advantage there. Trae Young gives it up, but the Knicks are still getting the chemistry right because look at OG and Bridges. As Josh Hart kind of stunts in to help out, they're going to forget to recover to the corner defender. See? Here's another pick and roll involving Trae Young and Capella. As Trae Young makes his way down, see, not only he's dealing with Josh Hart stunting in, OG is the low man, which he contests shots at the rim way better than Cat does. But also, OG is long enough to defend his pass to Johnson. Let's take a look at that again. Trae Young coming off this screen. He has not only Mikal on his heels with those long arms, he has to make his read. You got Josh Hart stunting in. You got OG serving as the low man, or is he going to defend his pass? He's sort of 50-50 on this. But he has the long reach. See? These are some new scenarios that the Knicks present to Trae Young this season that he normally did not have to deal with facing us in previous seasons. Look at Josh Hart. He's fully committed on that stunt. Fully committed. And OG now deflects the pass. So things are going to be looking different for Trae Young when we face up this season. Going back to Dame, nothing came easy for him. He has Mikal trailing on his heels. It's not like he could just straight up pull up. Mikal could swat it from behind. OG stays his ground. And check out Josh Hart. Kind of reads him through and through. Yeah, nothing came easy for Dame in this game. Again, Dame dealing with Mikal and OG. OG completely hedges off this screen. Brunson recovering to the roller. And nothing came easy for Dame. Now, not only this season, Mikal Bridges defending the point of attack is going to be a good thing that allows OG to sag off or just help out. Also, with our bench unit, when McBride comes in, it continues to present a situation of unique circumstances as Trae Young is looking for a switch right here, but there's no advantage. Look, he calls that off. And at the same time, he's looking on the other end. There's no advantage in calling a screen here. And so he just chucks it up. Again, this season, even when we're in between lineups, between the bench unit and the starters, McBride, OG, Josh Hart, and Mikal is going to present some new circumstances for teams who have perimeter scorers like Trae Young. As right here, he's going to call for a screen, but watch OG. He's going to come in and completely cancel that. See, Trae Young is not trying to go through that. He doesn't want that smoke. And now check out OG. Keep in mind, Josh Hart, some of our perimeter defenders are out there, Mikal and McBride, all out there. But pay attention to OG right here. Look at this defense. You got OG in the middle, trying to make this read. And he gets there just in time to cause Capella to miss that. But again, with this very lineup out here, if he calls for a pick and roll, it's really Cat that's there. OG comes in and cancels that. But if he calls pick and roll with Johnson, with the rookie right here, there's no advantage. Or even Daniels. There's no advantage coming off these picks dealing with OG. There's no advantage of coming off a pick dealing with Hart or Mikal. So that's why right here he's picking on Towns, and this is a nice little counter by the Knicks right here to nullify that. Right here, we see another prime example of the same thing kind of playing out. You got OG serving as the low man. Got Daniel setting this pick. But look, Deuce is right here. Trey has had issues getting past him. The same thing for Josh Hart, but he's going to try to get this switch. No advantage once again. And let's say Trae Young put on a move and got past McBride coming off this pick. Dealing with OG down low is going to be an issue. But he just settles for the long three. But it is what it is. We see a nice little sample size of the Knicks perimeter defense of what it possibly could be. And in the game against Milwaukee, we got a nice taste to see how the Knicks pivot outside of isolation shooting. The scoring in isolation sometimes has been stagnant. We've seen it play out in crunch time in Atlanta and also in Houston. And with Brunson pivoting away from that, getting into the paint, we've seen the ball started moving. Mikal started making cuts. Josh Hart making plays. The offense is looking quite sexy, but it's all a sample size. So we'll see how things play out. Until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.